Hello everyone. This is really random and different for me. I am going to share a testimony that has recently happened with me and my family. I was just journaling with the Lord and he put it on my heart. I was giving him thanks specifically for what I'm about to share, and he put it on my heart to share it. And just to give a little context as to me putting this on YouTube, I have been wanting to start and feeling the Lord putting it on my heart to start a YouTube channel since 2020. So it's literally, this is going on 3 years that I have been procrastinating and just allowing fear to kind of get in the way of me actually obeying the Lord and just starting it. And so there was a thread that I recently read on Instagram, and it was super powerful. Since I'm recording on my phone, I had to go to Instagram, write it down to record what it said. But I think it's really good to share because when I read it, I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so true. And it might end up helping you. So the person that wrote this, his name is Zach Nash, and he wrote, 2023 is a great year to stop living in other people's heads. Jesus modeled something revolutionary. He only did what he saw his Father doing. His actions weren't guided by what he assumed others may think. The life he lived horizontally was solely directed by the life he lived vertically. The Father was his ultimate influence. The fear of man is a straitjacket, chained to the fear of what others may think. We restrain ourselves from obedience to the only one whose opinion carries eternal weight. In the words of William Bates, the fear of the created over the fear of the Creator dethrones God and defies man. When I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, because I just realized like the things that I felt the Lord calling me to, that I allowed fear into, and just how serious that really was, and how by being more afraid of what other people may think, or failing, or just, not doing it well, in the process of that, I was fearing man more than I was fearing the Lord and what he's calling me to and to be obedient to. So as I was journaling, and I felt the Lord saying, I want you to share this, I was like, okay, can I at least get looking cute first? Because I wanted my first YouTube video for me to look cute. And I just realized that no, because what I'm about to share is not about me, and it doesn't matter if I look cute or not. I'm just going to share it anyway and pray that it blesses you. And also because the Lord called me to start this YouTube channel, and so here we go. I'm starting it. So I wanted to share what the Lord has recently done in my life and with my family, and it is a amazing testimony, and I'm still honestly in shock that it happened. So let me give some context. So we have lived in the house that we're in now since August or September of 2022, and this house has been a blessing. We moved from one place in Virginia to another place, literally 30 minutes away, but it's closer to our church and our community, and we felt the Lord saying that he wanted us to move, but in the process of moving to this house, there was a lot of stress and disappointment from looking at different houses to nothing working out, to not feeling a lot of peace about any of the places. And so we wanted to buy, and instead of buying, we ended up renting our friend's house that ended up being perfect and such a blessing to us and our family. And so we've been here for the last 5 or 6 months, and but the past month or so, I would say, Spencer has really been feeling like it's time to look for something else. Just from the neighborhood we live in and a few other factors, we really were feeling that it was time to move into another place. And so we weren't ready to buy yet, but we were hoping to find somewhere to rent. And so I was looking up different houses for rents, townhomes, apartments. I had never thought I would be into living at an apartment, but we had checked out a couple different ones that were in our price range, and so we were both very open to it, and we knew that it would be temporary until we would hopefully be able to buy a house in the future. But everything that I was looking at, like even just like townhomes and condos and houses and stuff, were so expensive. So and also, as we were looking, I wasn't having that much peace about anything. There was a house that we were going to go look at for rent, and I had no peace about it. And literally the day of that we had our appointment, Spencer also didn't have peace, so we just canceled the appointment. And then there was a townhome that we were gonna see, and literally like an hour or two before we were gonna go see it, the realtor called us and was like, hey, so these people that didn't seem interested, they ended up signing, so they took it. And so nothing was really working out, and we went to go see 2 different apartments, and like as I'm putting on my shoes about to leave our house, I just felt the Lord be like, this is a waste of your time. Like I just really was not feeling peace about it, but I was still open to just seeing it and hearing what it would be like to live there. So, you know, we did end up checking them out, but again, like we just weren't really sure. And so okay, let me think. So that's some context of us wanting to move. So then our friends, who are also the landlords of this house that we're living in, have been praying about a decision that would include them moving out of their current house. And so a day before they had to make this big decision, our friend, who was also our landlord, came over our house to help fix up a couple things, and Spencer was talking to him about this big decision he had to make, and he wasn't really sure which way it was going to go, but it didn't really seem like it was going to, like they were going to move. And so at this point in time, it's all very, like, us moving was all so new that we hadn't told them yet, but we were going to tell them, but we also didn't know that they were making this big decision too at the time. So once we heard that, and the next day, his wife, my friend, she posted asking for prayer from our church community because they had to make this decision, and they weren't feeling like one way, like they weren't feeling strongly on one specific decision. And so they were asking for us to partner with them in prayer. And so as the day was going on and I was praying for them and I was thinking about our situation, the Lord just kind of was like, you need to tell them, you know, that you are wanting to move out of the house you're in. And so I went to Spencer and I was like, I think we're supposed to tell them that, you know, I know this is all brand new. We don't know what we're doing yet, but especially given their situation, you know, if I was them, I would want to know. And so he called up our landlord and he basically just told him like, hey, like we are wanting to move out of this house. I don't know how that will impact your decision that you have to make today, but I just wanted to let you know, and all this stuff. And he was like, you know, if we end up moving, we're gonna need someone to live in the top half of our house, because they live like on their first floor and then their basement is like a finished Airbnb. And so he was like, you know, maybe, you know, you've talked about if we ever sold our house wanting to maybe move into it, like maybe you guys could move into the top floor. And Spencer was like, that would be so awesome, but you know, we wouldn't be able to afford what you guys would probably want for it. Like it's a really nice house and it's more space in this house and we really can't afford much more than what we pay for this house. And so the conversation kind of ends and me and Spencer are talking about it, and then all all of a sudden, the Lord gave me this idea of, what if I helped clean their Airbnb in a way to kind of make up for the difference of what they would probably want for the rent. And so Spencer just let him know, like, hey, Jenna had this idea of, helping clean the Airbnb. I don't know if that would help, with the price of what you guys would want for it. And so he gets back to us and says, hey, like, yeah, if we end up deciding to move and, you guys would want to move into the top of our house and wanted to upkeep the Airbnb, you guys could pay the same amount that you pay now for your house. And we were like, that would be the biggest blessing ever, because even the apartments that we were looking at were going to be more than what we pay here. There really wasn't much that was cheaper than what we pay for the house we're in. And so the next day, they had to make the decision that day basically. And the next day, Spencer just reached out like, hey, I'm curious, like, did you guys decide what you want to do? And he was like, yep, we decided we're going to move, and we'll get the details figured out for the lease that you would be signing for our house. And, we'll have more details to come. But they ended up saying you guys can move into our house and pay the same amount you're paying now and help with the Airbnb. And we were shook. We were literally so surprised. One, it was like really sad because they're also our friends. And so the thought of them leaving was really, really sad. Thankfully, they're not moving too far, so they'll still be visiting. But just knowing that the Lord provided a place for our family, and that, us just communicating to them like, hey, we're going to be moving, like, it seemed to have an impact on their decision, and making sure that their bases were covered and had peace to make that decision to move. And so I was just like blown away by the Lord's faithfulness for both of our families to provide what we both needed. And it took days for it to sink in. Honestly, it's still sinking in, because one, this house is absolutely beautiful. Like, literally, it's the most beautiful house I will ever lived in, like, my whole life. Two, it is in a super safe neighborhood, and so I'll be able to take walks with Judah and just be outside all the time, and just not have that kind of worry of different things that could be happening, like we do here where we live. And also just more space. We're gonna have a whole extra room versus what we have here, and Spencer will have a bigger office space and a beautiful yard. Like, we're just, it's just all around a total blessing. And so as I was journaling today, just like giving thanks to the Lord, because like I've felt so thankful and so shocked at the same time, but I just really wanted to take a moment and thank the Lord. And I just was overcome with thankfulness and started crying, like bawling, because it's just another time that the Lord has shown that he's faithful and he cares about all the little details. Like, yeah, we could have moved into an apartment, or we could have moved into a townhome, and it would have been a blessing, and it would have, I would have felt so thankful for that. But the fact that the Lord had something even better in store for us and lined up for us, and I just was like, God, like, we don't deserve this. Like, this is so much more like it's like truly from his hands, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm just so thankful. And he provided, like he always provides. And so we're like blown away, honestly. Like, we are just so excited for this next chapter and season, to have more space, to be in a home that, if we had another baby in this year or next year, like, we'll have the space for another kid. And also starting YouTube, and also wanting to start a baking business that's coming in a couple months. That will be such a blessing to have more space, and for it to be in such a beautiful house. Like, I literally cannot wait. And so I just wanted to share this in hopes that, you know, if right now you're struggling with leaning on the Lord to provide or to come through, or struggling to truly believe that He is faithful, this is just a testimony to spur your faith, to know that He will provide. And He always gives so much more than we could imagine too. Like, there are so many dreams, and I'll probably make another video on this, but there are so many dreams that the Lord has been giving me the past couple years. And as I'm just spending time with Him, like feeding those dreams and just sitting with Him and imagining the possibilities, like He continues to show that He always has so much more for us. Like, I saw this picture, it was, I don't remember where I saw this, but it was a picture of like two sides of a piece of paper, and one side was like my expectations or my dreams or something, and the other side was like God's plans for me, and one side that was like my dreams is just like one little flower, and then the other side that was like God's plans for me was like a million little flowers. And I was just like, that is so true. Like, anytime we place our life and our dreams and our future in the Lord's hands, He always does so much better than what we could come up with for ourselves. And He's proven that time and time again in my life and the people around me. And so yeah, I just wanted to finally make my first YouTube channel video and just share this testimony, because He is so, so good, and He deserves all the praise and all the thanks and all the glory. And so yeah, if there is anything recent, any testimonies that you have that the Lord has done, or even doesn't have to be recent, but in the past, that's just going to be encouraging for anyone that's gonna watch this video or read the comments, I just encourage you to leave that testimony in the comments, just sharing how the Lord has been faithful and provided in your life, so that we can each just be reminded of how good He is, and that it would spur on our faith in whatever we're going through or struggling with. So this is my video, and I'm going to be making more, probably baking content, probably lifestyle content, faith videos, testimonies, things that the Lord is teaching me and showing me, and different dreams that I have. And I mean, who knows? It could go a million different ways, but yeah, I hope it was a blessing to you and an encouragement, and I'll see you in my next video.